Hey, good afternoon, my dear friends. It's Sunday afternoon and I'm here at home. I've just got back. So I've been super busy lately, had a lot of work on, so I haven't had much modelling time. Look at all these paints. These are all my acrylic lacquer paints. Look at them all. I've got a really good collection of acrylic lacquer, don't I? And that's just the acrylic lacquer. I've got heaps of oil paints and heaps of water-based paints. So this is my base. So I put a little bit of a border on it. So we got the black border going on, and I've got some stencils coming in, some nice German lettering. So we'll be able to write, Stug O series, and on the other side we can write Panzer III Ausführung B, and I can write my name on it. John Bulmer. We can write Miniart on the other side, something like that. But it's starting to come up pretty good. So all the base work is done. So now I can just, when I get these ready and stuck on, I can just sort of weather it a bit. We can put some figures on. As I get them, we can put some oil stains, all kinds of stuff. Don't have to do much though, because it's a factory floor. So it's not exposed to the elements. Yeah, but that's that. That's coming along pretty well. Also, I've been spending a lot of time on this little bugger. So this is Miniart's T-34, 85. No, I can't, I've lost it. Oh, Elsie's using it. There we go, Elsie, sorry, but I'm taking the box back. This one with the Polish version on it. Yeah, it's a really good tank. I'm going to put that version on. I do like that. I've got a stencil for that. Let's see how you paint that white. Yeah. So got past all those things, and we got past all those things. So I'm up to here. So the photo etch section where you're putting all this photo etch on. This one's really hard, these ones here. Just sort of trying to get them together at the moment. So I was trying to fiddle around with the these top bits, trying to get them bent right, but I just kept losing them. The amount of times I had to get down on the floor and try and find these two little things. So what I've done is I've stuck them on, and I'm going to bend them on. So that'll probably be ready to go now. I did that last night. See, we've got enough super glue on it. So instead of putting on the plastic ones, these handles, I put on some brass ones I just made out of just wire. So just some 1/2 mm wire, brass wire. Brass, I think brass or copper, I'm not sure. And I've made them slightly different sizes to sort of get that chaos look. One's bent. I'm gonna have to bend that back. It's not the actual holes, it's bent, so I'm just gonna bend it back. I did some on the top as well, and now I'm just coming around on the opposing side here and putting on the last ones. So I've got those two, and then we've got to put these two. It takes a long time, but it's worthwhile, especially when you start weathering it and stuff. These things break like nothing else. I hate them. So yeah, I did this on my dragon one, and once it was painted in that, it was worth it. I remember when I was painting it up going, oh, these are much better. And they don't move, they're much better. So it's worthwhile doing it. Might not look as good, I suppose, but it does the job. And you see on this far side here, I've made them different depths, and I've sort of made them bent and a bit wonky, and that's an attempt at realism. It is an attempt at realism. This rear plate here is very difficult to install. The actual plastic plate, because it's got a connection point there, a connection point there. It's got a connection point there on the other side, and it's got a lot of connection points in there between those things. But the connection points are actually right, big ones, you know, those really big ones, they're right on top of the part. So you got to cut it out, and then you've got to file it flat. But there's not much meat on this part, so you're filing it flat and you get it right, and then you start putting this on, so the top plate here. And the big problem is this broke on me because it was so thin. And the photo etch parts, so this mesh here is very thin, extremely thin. When I just cut it out, it curled over. It was so thin, it curled extremely a lot. So I had to come along and flatten it out with a rolling pin. And the top part here, so you've got to put this on separately where the bolts are, that's extremely thin as well, and can be very easily bent out of place and broken. So you've got to be very careful when you're making these to get the actual bend of the natural bend of that part. So you see how it naturally bends at the back. You've just got to do it very gently. So what I did was I put some super glue along the top end, came in, put it in like that, so the top end was in, and then came down after it was dry, putting it down. But I didn't do it installed, of course. You need to use your finger underneath, keeping the thing straight, keeping it straight. It doesn't look that great, but even to get it to that stage was quite a bit of work. So very difficult to install. I remember my friend Rims from Brims Models, you know that dude, he had a lot of trouble with this as well, this part. Yeah, when he was making it, we emailed each other a lot. He was showing me, it's like, oh no, this is broken and stuffed, and it didn't look that great. But I just said, don't worry too much about it. It's just battle damage sort of thing. It didn't look too bad, but yeah, I know what he means now. It's just the thinness of all the parts coming together to make an ultra thin part that's not great. But that was the hardest thing I've had trouble with on this one. And you can see here we've got to install the snow tracks, and as my other friend told me, that they're snow tracks. So you've got tiny little photo etch parts there. I pre-bent them, so the ones along this part here, I pre-bent them in my photo etch bender, and they quite easily went on. So just with my tweezers, I'll pick up the pre-bent part, dip it in a little little puddle of super glue, and then just plopped it on. That was too easy. These ones at the front, they've got little grooves cut out of the fender, so they're quite easy to go into as well. And there's another little one you've got to put there, but for no reason. It actually doesn't have anything attached to it, which is interesting. So once we get these ones put on, then we've got a few more parts to get ready. So there's this nice part that goes here, and then we're going to start putting on the extra fuel tanks. Get those on. So we've got one at the side, another one at the side, and then we've got two at the rear. So it's a lot of photo etch work. It's a nice little tank. It really is bloody lovely. I really am enjoying working on it. Alright guys, well, I'll speak to you again soon. See ya.